Christina Yuna Lee was stabbed 40 times to death inside her own apartment this past Sunday in New York City by a violent criminal with an extensive rap sheet named Assamad Nash. Why do Asians and city dwellers keep voting for this? Why do you keep championing movements and aligning with ideologies that cause tragic deaths like this? Disagree with me? No, you listen up! Did you notice how quickly Stop Asian Hate disappeared from the mainstream narrative after race-grifting pundits couldn't hide the fact that those brutally assaulting Asians were not white? The only time they cared was when a psychopath murdered 8 people in Atlanta and he happened to be white. After that, silence. Vulnerable Asians are being assaulted and murdered at alarming rates in cities, and these people don't care because it doesn't match their narrative. On top of that, Asian liberals continue to deny the fact that these racist attacks aren't coming from Trump-supporting white conservatives. Was it also a white Republican who pushed Michelle Go onto the subway and train tracks in Times Square last month to be run over by a train? No! Instead, you continue to deny the reality of the surge in violent crimes and align yourself with the lies spread by Democrats and liberals who don't care about you. I've seen tons of posts of Asian liberals who say they're too scared to be on the streets in our cities now, yet Asians keep voting for the same Democrat politicians who are destroying your lives literally. How are you not making this connection? The soft-on-crime bail reform policies of Democrats are responsible for Christina Yuna Lee's death. This was Assamad Nash's 8th arrest since May of last year. He had 3 pending criminal cases, one including charges of assault, harassment, and aggravated harassment after he punched a man in the face, and another including 27 counts of criminal mischief, along with additional charges of resisting arrest and attempting to escape custody. 2 years ago, Democrats in the city passed bail reform, which allowed Nash to remain out on the streets on supervised release as long as he made 1 phone check-in and 2 in-person check-ins each month. That's all he had to do. Why do you think there's such an astronomical surge in crime in our cities? This is the same kind of bail reform policy that resulted in BLM activist Darrell Brooks 3 months ago running over a Christmas parade in Waukesha with an SUV, murdering 6 people and injuring 62 others, including children. He should have been locked up for his crimes, just like Assamad Nash, but instead he was released because racial equity and bail reform. There are 2 things we must do to ensure the safety of our communities: a stronger police presence and the right to bear arms. But liberals and Asians all bought into the narrative that we must defund the police, and you continue to berate firearms and celebrate gun control. If Christina was equipped with a legal firearm, she would have been able to defend herself against her murderer. Why do you love when Democrats defund the police and make it more illegal to own firearms? How do you think the rooftop Koreans defended themselves 30 years ago during the LA riots? Stop politicizing this death. No, an innocent civilian was brutally stabbed to death because the violent felon who should have been locked up was roaming the streets because you voted for politicians and woke DAs paid off by globalist elites who want to destroy our communities by decriminalizing crime, defunding our police, and stripping us of our Second Amendment rights. You continue to buy into the race-dividing propaganda promulgated by fraudulent racists for communist organizations like BLM, preventing you from criticizing the racist actions of inner-city thugs if they happen to be black, and you continually parrot the Trump is bad, white people are bad narrative shoved down our throats by liberal elites to distract you what's actually causing these crimes. Wake up!